Badlands, running to Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Okay.
Man, what a rough start to the show already. Are we good on Rumble now? I think we should be live now. I think I may have forgot to hit one of the buttons. But anyway, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Herald here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold. Some of you on Rumble got to skip out on the typical Badlands intro, but I'm here now. So that's all that really matters. But yeah, how was everybody doing? It's Thursday. Kind of if I'm being honest, kind of a slow news day. I didn't have a lot to talk about. I mean, I have some tabs open. We'll go through some things, but I'm going to lean on you guys quite a bit today, I think. I did post something on Twitter asking for, what you guys want me to talk about. So we might go through a couple of those things, see if there's anything interesting. Yeah, it's almost Friday. We've got to talk about the most important news of the day. Britney Spears arrested in California for a DUI. I was not aware of that. Interesting. I wonder, what kind of car did she drive? Fixed by now, 75 and beautiful here. Much needed warmth and sunshine. It's like foggy outside here. I don't even know how warm it is. 29 degrees. Not bad. Seth Keshel's book is out today. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that a little bit. How do I get out of this? There's like a thing open on my computer, and I don't know how to get out of the screen. There we go. So Trump killed the leader's son now? Not that I know of. We'll talk about that. There's a story that came out from Reuters where it says Trump does want to have a hand in picking the next leader of Iran, which we kind of already knew, but to see him say it, going to be difficult for him to, say it's not regime change when they're swapping out and choosing who the next leader is going to be. But that's fine. We can be okay with that, maybe. Phil Scarpa, but when they made her walk the line, did she pull out a butcher knife and dance? Is that from a video or something? You guys are funny. Okay, let's get a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll just see where the show takes us. First up, we got some Rattlesnake Meats. We've been trained to buy cheap, fast, and processed, but cheap comes at a cost. And that cost is your health, the land, the animals. At Rattlesnake, they take no shortcuts, no subsidies, just premium, pasture-raised beef and chicken that's real, honest, and worth it. Think differently, eat better. Bite back at Big Egg. Grab your pasture-raised meat now. Order at rattlesnakemeats.com/Badlands. And use promo code Badlands. That's rattlesnakemeats.com/Badlands. Promo code Badlands. Man, it's making me hungry. I haven't eaten yet today. Okay, let's do... wait, her IG is all her completely out of it, wearing weird outfits and dancing around. She did a series while holding a butcher knife as well. See, I don't follow. I don't go on Instagram. People are retarded. What's up, Ash? Miss Rise Attire. CM Caldy. Benny Johnson and John now align on their views. Funny, huh? I highly doubt that. That we actually align on our views. But I haven't seen what CM Caldy. How about you tell me what my views are, and then we'll see if they align with Benny Johnson. But let's get a quick word from Rise Attire, because they're awesome and good people and make great products. And then we'll start going through some stuff.
What up, Badlanders? Are you ready to rock something new in 2026? Well, as always, we got you covered with the Rise Badlands Native Collection. Built from the rich tones and rugged terrain of the Dakotas, Equal parts beautiful and brutal. Old roots, new vibe. Whether you got gators in your backyard or you have to take a bush plane to the post office, Badlanders are worldwide. Different dirt, same tribe. By the way, your friends at Rise have a deal for you. Show up at GART rocking your native gear. Swing by our booth and get in to win a free Badlands Rise hoodie of your choice. And don't forget, every order throws fuel on the fire of the Made in USA parallel economy. So grab something now at badlandsmedia.tv/rise.
Yeah, guys, that's a pretty sweet deal. If you show up to GART wearing your GART attire, the native collection, you get entered into win some free stuff. And if you're not coming to GART, you should be. You should ask yourself why you're not coming. It's going to be a great time. April 9th through the 12th. We got a stacked lineup. Almost everybody in Badlands is going to be there. It's going to be a good time. Badlandsmedia.tv/events. You can get in-person or virtual tickets. Single-day tickets going on sale is to be determined. We'll probably know here in the next couple weeks whether or not we're going to be doing that. Depends on whether we sell out, I suppose. Bonafide doubt. John, don't be a doomer like me. It's not called Twitter. Musk bought it and renamed it X for a reason. Only losers and babies say Twitter anymore. Well, that's not true. I feel like I can call it whatever I want. Anyone saying there's a mega divide is themselves a mega divider. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. E.H. Cal, John, I don't think Trump wants to select a permanent leader. Well, let me share my actual chat. See how this goes. It's not too big. Let's zoom in a little bit. I don't think Trump wants to select a permanent leader. Trump wants to select a person that will help the Iranian citizens form their government. Yeah, we kind of went over this last night. I thought we had a pretty good show on the Power Hour last night. Not everybody loves it. Got a few DMs from people who are like, I can't believe you're still complaining about stuff. But we talk about the info war. And sometimes that means we discuss the behavior of other people in the info war. That's what we're doing. We're navigating the info, right? Info war, that's how you get through it. Chat within a chat, trippy. Chris Paul's voice. My bingo card did not include one of my senators dropping out for re-election. My other senator helping Capitol Police in a scuffle in the Capitol. Yeah, that was weird. I saw that video circulating. I haven't actually watched it yet, but the guy who went into protest, the former Marine, went into protest the war, and he ended up getting his arm broken. There's videos that come out today. He's, I don't know, married to a Muslim or something. People are trying to make it seem like he wasn't genuine, or he was disingenuous. I don't know. Don't really care to get emotionally attached to that story. There's real people in this country that don't want the war. There's real people that support it. Only cancel culture libtards talk like we can't hear others' opinions. My senators need to be replaced along with lots of reps in Wisconsin. When you're talking about somebody dropping out, I saw a story today that I think it was Paxton maybe, said that he'd be willing to drop out if Cornyn, I think, passes the SAVE Act. Let me see if I can find the story here. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, Attorney General Ken Paxton, the Save America Act is the most important bill the U.S. Senate could ever pass, and I'm committed to helping President Trump get it done. It's a pretty big statement. The most important bill ever. I would consider dropping out of this race if Senate leadership agrees to lift the filibuster and passes the Save America Act. John Cornyn is a coward who has refused to support abolishing the filibuster to pass this bill. Now, fake news reporters and the establishment are trying to destroy me with misinformation. And he's been the target of a lot of misinfo ops, it seems. Anyway, he says, the truth is clear. No one has been more loyal to Donald Trump than me. Fighting the stolen 2020 election, being in Mar-a-Lago when he announced his 2024 campaign, and standing with him in New York in the face of lawfare. For the good of our country and for the good of passing President Trump's agenda, I'm determined to help him get this done. That's interesting. It seems as though, do we have confirmation yet if Trump is endorsing Cornyn? Because I know that was rumored yesterday. Could be fake news. Rebel Nader, I don't care where his motives are, his message lines with me. By the way, Rebel Nader, you got to be more respectful, dude. It's one thing to disagree. If you start getting disrespectful, it's possible you get muted. I'm not saying to me, I'm saying just generally that goes for everybody. John's self-rating his own show. Wade, his hair looks grayer with his frosted tips. I don't know why you keep saying I have frosted tips. I don't have frosted tips. Lee Walden, nothing wrong with anyone protesting a war. However, if you're in uniform, your etiquette is in question. It's not about his opinion of the war. Can't do it in uniform, brother. Was he actually in uniform? I didn't see that. Did you see the CEO burger tasting videos? I did not. Now watch Paxton become the USAG starting 2027 when his term runs out. I mean, I'd probably like that better than Pam Bondi. That's one of the things in news. Nancy Mason and a few others filed, was it a subpoena? They subpoenaed Pam Bondi. Let me pull this up. If I can find it. I know I saw, or last night. Yeah, here we go. Breaking. We're moving to subpoena U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. AG Bondi claims the DOJ has released all the Epstein files. The record is clear. They have not. The Epstein case is one of the greatest cover-ups in American history. His global sex trafficking network is larger than what is being revealed. 3 million documents, excuse me, have been released, and we still don't have the full truth. Videos are missing, audio is missing, logs are missing. There are millions more documents out there. We want to know why the DOJ is more focused on shielding the powerful than delivering justice. The American people deserve answers. Victims deserve justice. Hold the line. Nancy Mace is a grifter, as is all of Congress. I'd fall in my chair if Trump endorses Cornyn. He's a rhino who says that the 2020 election was legit and Trump did an insurrection. There are multiple people who have said the 2020 election was legit, that Trump has endorsed. I think Senator Kramer here in North Dakota is one of them. I'm almost positive. The GOP didn't give two shits about Cornyn before. Why now? All that money for the primary, and he got his chairmanship of his own committee. Something is up. It's a never-ending circus in Congress at taxpayer expense, of course. PJ Corrigan, no, I'm not going to talk about that. Hopefully not going to talk about that today. Miss Reza Tire says Nancy Mace is running for Congress. Or no, governor, sorry. Yeah, I heard that too. If you hand money to the right people, you can do whatever you want here in America. Suppression owns us. That is from CN Stewart, and I agree. Trump endorses, this is from Phil Scarborough. Trump endorses whomever will work the best on the big chessboard. Sometimes we're not going to like it. Yeah, but we should still continue advocating our displeasure. Operate on first principles, guys. No update on the Doge website. Silver right now is at 82.88. Gold is just under 5,100. Bitcoin is at 71,000, just a little bit over. The only update on the presidential website is this, a pledge proclamation, ratepayer protection. America's continued economic and technological leadership depends on reliable, large-scale data center infrastructure built in the U.S. And then he goes on to say, as they expand their footprint, electricity demand associated with AI increases. American households must be protected against increasing energy costs. The hyperscalers and AI companies that increase electricity demand must pay for the full cost of the energy and infrastructure needed to build and operate the data centers, must not be passed on to the American people. Today, the Ratepayer Protection Pledge, leading United States hyperscalers and AI companies guarantee that data centers' energy will not increase household electricity. It's just a pledge. It's not a executive order, but I mean it's good. Obviously, I don't want, not that they're building any data centers here in North Dakota that I know of, but I don't want that cost passed on to me. Everybody wants transparency against the powerful until it comes to transparency against Congress. Yeah, they voted. I think it was yesterday. They voted against the the slush fund exposure bill. And it was a pretty wide margin. Let me see if I can find that story too. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. What do Republicans have to hide? Members of Congress should be ashamed into releasing this information along with details about their slush fund to pay victims. It's from Carol Swain. House votes 357 to 65 to block release of congressional misconduct. Now, I mean, technically, they didn't vote to block the release of their misconduct. They voted to block the release of the slush fund information, which it's ridiculous the slush fund exists, and it's ridiculous that they're in control. Like they take our taxpayer money, they use it on the slush fund to pay off their own misdeeds, and then they also control whether or not we even get to be aware of it when these people are supposed to be representing us. That's ridiculous. So I'm kind of excited they actually voted on it. Although whoever brought it to the floor knew this was going to happen. Not that it matters. I mean, it's still cool to see them on record. I hate these people. Let's see what else the chat says. Anyone see the new power plants being built? I haven't seen any. A lot of people in Ohio are vehemently against the data center that's on its way. Wahlberg Forge, the cost is already hitting utilities, not to mention consumer RAM and storage. What states have new power plants that have broken ground? That's a good question. I don't know. Why don't data centers run on solar or windmills since they generate so much energy? Well, I think this is going to be interesting with the whole fusion, the fusion power race that we kind of have going on now. Let me see if I can find I think there's a story on that. Yeah. The global race to unlock nuclear fission. Governments worldwide have been racing to unlock the secret nuclear fission energy for several decades with the aim of producing abundant clean energy. While several generation milestones have been achieved in recent years, accomplishing commercial scale production continues to be extremely complex. However, with more recent successes, we are edging closer to achieving this goal and producing vast quantities of clean power. Nuclear fission is the process that powers the sun and stars. Fusion takes place when two atomic nuclei, typically formed of hydrogen, are combined into a heavier nucleus, which releases a large quantity of energy. The difficulty in achieving this process is that scientists must recreate extreme temperatures and pressures that cause fusion in stars on Earth. Fusion energy is extremely attractive as it could provide massive amounts of clean power at a time when the electricity demand is soaring. Just 1 gram of fusion fuel could supply 90,000 kilowatt hours of energy in a power plant compared to the power produced from around 11 tons of coal. Fusion plants are also viewed as very safe as they do not have the same risks as fission plants, such as reactions, meltdowns, or higher level, long-lived radioactive waste. And this is interesting because what comes to mind is the TMTG merger that they did, or was it a merger or acquisition? I don't remember. Let me look that up. TMTG nuclear fusion. Yeah, it was a merger with TAE Technologies, and it was all about the future of fusion energy. And it's interesting, they're the ones leading the way. So when we're talking about data centers, the energy crunch, keeping rates lower, and then what TMTG is doing on the flip side of things, it's all kind of connecting together a little bit. What do you think of term limits being pushed by a lot of mega? Term limits are an interesting one because I agree with the concept and putting that in place, which by the way, they're never going to vote on that for themselves ever. But putting that in place would be a way to get rid of bad Congress people, which a majority of them are. But every now and then, if you get a good one to come in there, it's also how you get rid of them. And so I don't think term limits are as important as actual election integrity. If we could fix our elections, I don't care if we have term limits, because the people doing their job, if they can actually be, if the people we elect could actually be held accountable by the people, then they're the term limit. Like they're the ones that will be okay, well, you're no longer serving us or haven't been. We're going to put somebody else in there who will. Then you don't need term limits. If that makes sense. But yeah, it's always pushed by people. And it's a funny one because these people are never going to vote that for themselves. Just like I have a hard time believing that they're going to be the ones that fix our election system when they're the primary beneficiaries. Bridge livestock, can't the water used for cooling be used for irrigation afterwards? Doesn't just disappear. I don't know. That's a good question, though. I hope these data centers aren't waiting on taxpayer funds to start their power plants. John, did you see this tweet? Pretty funny when you think about it. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty funny. The Muslim world is divided about Iran. Muslim countries in favor of removing the regime. Jordan, Kuwait, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain. Muslim countries against the removal of the regime. Great Britain, France, and Spain. That's clever. Very clever. Someone doesn't want fusion energy to be released. Way too many people have died, killed, or disappeared that are leaders in fusion energy. The problem with term limits is if we like our congressmen, we do not get to keep them. That's the point. Remember what I told you, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they'll persecute you also. If they obeyed my teaching, they will obey yours also. John 15:20. Yeah, election integrity, much more important than term limits. Good to see you, Rise Attire. Trump himself even posted about the Save America Act stuff today. Couple things. The Republicans must do with passion and at the expense of everything else the Save America Act and not the watered down version. This is a country defining fight for the soul of our nation. And something that he said just maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, a month ago, that we're going to have voter ID whether Congress wants to or not. So can't be that much of a country defining fight if the vote itself, we're told, is irrelevant. But we'll see what happens. He also posted this, the Save America Act. All voters, number one, all voters must show voter ID identification. Number two, all voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. Number three, no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Number four, no men in women's sports. Number five, no transgender mutilation surgery for children without the express written approval of the parents. Are all those things in the Save America Act? I don't remember it including the transgender stuff. That's kind of funny if it's true. Wahlberg Forge, did you see Glenn Beck interviewing AI George Washington? It's so much cringe. He's been doing that now for like a while. He'll do these gay ass interviews with AI dead presidents as if the AI knows what the president would say. Yeah, real interesting. Current 2, good to see you, Elf Boy. Hope you're feeling better. That's BS. Crazy parents can mutilate their children. TMTG is the next Google. I do believe Google will be hit hard in the near future, and TMTG's model is aligned for a reason. Yeah, remember Google pushed election fraud, COVID, Biden laptop, censorship. You just got to see that accountability. And that's, man, the Rico Grande thing. We haven't heard a peep on that in so long. Haven't heard anything about the strike force that they put together. It's been awfully quiet on that front. And that doesn't mean nothing's happening. Hopefully lots happening. But we were getting so many updates, so many declassified documents coming out. Haven't gotten much at all. Anna, might as well just play with yourself on camera. That's a weird thing to say. Arresting those who certified a fake and gay election, and this is where that devolution dude's work becomes need to know. Thank you. Mr. Reisetire, Gab has chatbots you can talk to, like past presidents and specific characters like that. Anna, were you talking about him talking with the AI George Washington that he might as well just be playing with himself on camera? Because basically is. Is Mr. Trump going to fire Kristi Noem? You know, I saw a story where Trump says that he didn't know about, or he didn't approve Kristi Noem's advertising. Let me see if I can find this. It was somewhere in my aggregator. Oh. Apparently there's rumors. Is today the 5th? Oh, this like just came out. Trump is preparing to fire Kristi Noem. What the hell? And see, it's times like this where it's not even archived yet. I need to go to this story. Trump considers firing DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Sources say the president has made no decision, but he has told lawmakers that he is unhappy with her testimony this week before House and Senate committees. Sources said President Donald Trump, already frustrated with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, was incensed by her performance this week during congressional hearings and is considering firing her. Lawmakers and people familiar with the matter tell NBC News. He's been speaking this week with Republican lawmakers about his displeasure. And here's the thing. We don't know if any of this is true. Could be, could not. There's rumors, though, that there's like a split between Homan and her. And then you think back to Minnesota when they brought Homan in and they sent that one dude, I can't remember his name, out. It's also weird. But what it makes me think, and I'm curious what you guys think, and this is nothing I haven't said before, but when Trump was filling out his cabinet at the very beginning of his administration, we at Badlands were like fairly critical of many of them and have been very critical throughout. And people would get mad at us. People would say we're dooming. People were just like, just give it time, like, and all these things, all these excuses. And now if Trump fires her, how will the people that have been defending Kristi Noem for a year and a half or however long it's been, how will they respond? What do you think the rhetoric's going to be like? Where we can just be like, yeah, this is, I mean, just kind of sucked the whole time. We've been saying that. It's, Ice Barbie or whatever. Grifter. Social media influencer. TV character. Whatever you want to say. Do you think the people that were critical of us saying those things are going to be like, oh, yeah, I guess we were wrong? I doubt it. Like, gosh, they're going to all of a sudden take our position. That's what happens time and time again. Kristi Noem has nice hair. She cannot be fired. Depends on who she's replaced with. They've all been kind of lame. Even Cash disappointment. They've all been kind of lame. Grow and Grace. John, what do you think of the signing of NDAs? Local government here doing this around data centers. It feels wrong keeping important info from the voters. I mean, NDAs are a very common practice. I guess I don't know. I need more context over what they're actually doing. Like who's signing the NDAs? Is the local government signing it with the data centers? Because I don't agree with that. Like when it comes to government, NDAs within like keeping information from the voters, if that's the purpose of the NDAs, that's not okay. But if it's like the data centers and private business stuff, like everybody does NDAs. It's very normal. John is a negative poo-poo head. Sources familiar with the matter say. Yeah, anonymous source are fake news stories. Phil. Not sure we know about all that is happening with the Trump cabinet behind the scenes. Ramon says that that's 100% true. We don't know. We don't know. This is potentially a fake news story. Potentially not. If it ends up being true, it's going to be fun to watch, like we always do, the info war and the people in the truth community, how they respond, because it's a good indicator of where we're at with things. Like they always talk about, we're just waiting for enough people to wake up, and the people who claim to be the awake ones are most of the time retarded and flip flop on every damn story every time. But yeah, curious to see how this goes. When she did her testimony, did I play you guys the clip of her saying like the advertising and how much they spend on advertising? Did I play that on the show? I don't remember. Somebody let me know. Because if I did, then I won't play it again. But if I didn't, then I do want to play this. At least not all of it. Seen it? You guys have seen it? Let me just play a little bit.
Concern for waste, which I share, with the fact that you have spent $220 million running television advertisements that feature you prominently.
Sir, the president tasked me with getting the message out to the country and to other countries where we were seeing the invasion come from, with putting commercials out that told them that if they were in this country illegally, that they needed to leave, or we would detain them and remove them, and they'd not get the chance to come back to America the right way. That has been extremely effective.
Ask you.
So again, won't play the whole thing. She didn't have a very good answer here, but what this got me looking into the other day when I saw this clip is how much our government actually spends in advertising. They spend $1 billion, $1.3 billion a year in advertising. Our government is advertising. Like, isn't that a little ridiculous? Like, I understand some of the recruitment stuff from the military, maybe. Like that, I could get on board with some of that. But outside of that, I can't think of a single reason why the government should be spending any money on advertising. Like we don't give a shit if you're doing what you're saying you're doing. Like, I don't care to see commercials on TV of how of what the DHS is doing in their operations. $1.3 billion a year in advertising. It's insanity. That's fraud, waste, and abuse right there. It's weird that Doge hasn't cleaned it all up yet. Buck Wayne, advertising, propaganda. Yep. Are they really spending on advertising? I mean, that's the question. But there were commercials of like Barbie ice all over the place. Those existed. Dragon 45, does any of the hearings ever equal anything? Don't think so. Talk about wasting taxpayer money. They don't. They never do, never have. And it's weird. Like, I wish I could go back in time and watch like some of the first hearings. Like, what did Congress actually intend for the hearings that they dug into? And did they ever actually go somewhere? Like, at what point did it become they do these hearings and it's literally just for the clips for social media? Because at some point that happened. There was a switch. If they ever actually did something, it hasn't been for a long, long time. Like, the reports that they put out don't end up doing anything, at least not yet. Like, even the Weaponization of Government Committee from Jim Jordan it would have been the last 2 years of Biden's term. I thought that was going to be signal, you know? I thought, like, man, they're hitting all the major topics, exposing a lot of things. You know, maybe this is like just going to be rolled up into some sort of broader investigation that's already going on or whatever. And maybe it has. That's possible. It's speculation to say so, but it's possible. But we definitely haven't seen any evidence of it. And none of it really amounts to anything. None of it. It's ridiculous, guys. Misbehaving Irishman. Many creators, including some on Badlands, will twist themselves into pretzels to spin any negative story to fit a narrative that they're married to. You want to give me an example of that, Misbehaving Irishman? If election fraud doesn't get fully and unequivocally exposed and dealt with, this is from Bay Theater Dave, none of this BS, other BS matters. Just saying. Totally agree. Totally agree. Ajax 55. I think we might have lost, but we just don't know it yet. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. But it's possible. But I doubt it. Yeah, that's more of a, I would say, a black pill take. Infowar, John. Infowar. What's that regarding? If Congress had no fake hearings, they would never do anything. John, they get campaign clips on our dime. Yes, they do. Walbert Forge. Just got my GART virtual ticket. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Thank you for doing that. I think I swear, guys, once the lawsuit stuff is behind me and we're charging ahead, we will do like contests to give away tickets to GART and stuff. We were working towards doing that, but couldn't pull it off. But we will end up doing that, getting more creative and getting people who couldn't typically come the ability to come. Going to Scientology Space Church? What? Time to grow up with the corrupt CIA, covert CIA will eat you alive. Just finished watching Baseless Conspiracies from Monday night. The new Tiny Bright video with the man-eating otter was hilarious. I did feel sorry for BB at the end, though. Yeah. Well, no, what? Speaking of that, let's play that quick. Get our final sponsor for the day in a little early.
Legend says, on St. Patrick's Day, a beard without oil is just a chin with ambition. But a beard with soft disclosure beard oil, that's true treasure. Spiced vanilla, naked, smooth as a leprechaun's getaway plan. Soft enough to impress your barber, bold enough to confuse a baby goat. And this boar bristle brush tames your beard like it holds the crown coin. Every bottle is American made, which means when you buy Soft Disclosure, you're supporting 6 American small businesses. That's not luck, that's capitalism with cheekbones. And while you're at it, try our mint green deodorant, because even legends need fresh pits. Soft Disclosure, go for gold. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code TINYBRIGHT for 15% off.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Promo code does not apply to bundle discounts.
Unfortunately, no burning brights were harmed in the making of that video. It's just AI. But yeah, it's a funny one. Get your guys some Soft Disclosure. And the brush. It's amazing. There's a comment I wanted to read. What's your favorite book says, I think considering truth might sound like blackpilling because the truth can appear dark. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to pop over to YouTube, the YouTube chat, see what they're saying. Horrific. Gotta love the infighting in the truth community. It does so much for the movement. Yeah. You know, we've talked about this. We talk amongst ourselves about it. And we try to ignore it. But I wish I could be a little more open about the stuff going on behind the scenes. And eventually I will be. But we do our best to stay in our lane. We comment on it. But what the other side has been doing, it's ridiculous. But yeah, there's a lot of, outside of just our personal situation, all it is infighting. It's just everybody's yelling at everybody. Brussels comms incoming. Sorry, guys, I can't help myself. Sometimes I don't even know that I'm doing it. I don't even realize I'm doing it. It just feels so natural and good on the face. Did not realize otters were land sharks. Mormon space programs. Let's see. You should probably run it for real to make sure AI got it right. GART can't come fast enough. We need some therapy from all the psyops. Yeah, we're going to start doing those exclusive live streams for GART here in the near future. We're also going to start piecing together some of the panels and topics and whatnot. So if you have any suggestions, we're all ears. We are all ears. ClearCAD, latest soft disclosure lotion order is on its way. Thank you. Can you brush your hair with that brush? My son does. My son does that every morning. He loves it. Let's see. There's a few other stories I wanted to get to, or at least topics generally. This regarding the Iran war. I mean, it could be nothing, could be something, but at least it's out there. CENTCOM support requests hints war could last through at least September. And if my calculations are correct, it's March right now. That's like 6 months. If my math is right. Somebody pull up the calculator and check my math on that. But anyway, the story is the request from the U.S. Central Command for the Pentagon to provide additional support staff has hinted that the military expects the war to last for several months. CENTCOM reportedly asked the Department of War to send military intelligence officers to its Tampa, Florida headquarters to assist with Iran operations for at least 100 days, but likely through September. Could be a totally BS story, by the way. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. My bad, guys. The White House has repeatedly adjusted its timeline for the duration of hostilities. The CENTCOM request is the latest sign that the conflict will last much longer than initially optimistic estimates. The Trump administration has insisted that its activities in the Middle East are part of a special combat operation and not a full-blown war. The euphemism has attracted considerable derision and mockery, partly due to its similarity to the Russian special military operation in Ukraine. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I would call it a war, you know? Like if, and I said this before, and we don't need to get stuck on the definition of it, but if Iran were to like send a bunch of ballistic missiles at us, we would call that an act of war, and then we would respond, and we'd be at war. And that's kind of what happened. I mean, whatever. We don't need to get stuck into the semantics, but that's out there. We don't know the length. It's a dynamic situation. Who knows? We will have to see what happens. This is the actual Politico article, though. It's titled, Inside the Trump Administration's Scramble to Support Its Own War. One State Department official said too few people were read in on our war plans. State Department is adding resources to evacuate stranded Americans in the Middle East, and the Pentagon is scrambling to increase the number of U.S. troops gathering intelligence for operations. Latest indication that the Trump administration was not fully prepared for the broader war it is now facing. And it's interesting, like, if this is true, which we don't have to take it at face value and believe it's true because it's fake news, Politico, all those things, but we can play with the idea of it, right? That's how bicameral thinking works. You can play with a story, understanding that it may not be true. So, but if it is true, does this lead or lend more credibility to the idea that we kind of had our hand forced into doing this? Like if we weren't fully prepared, we didn't get all of our people out there, or move more assets around to kind of prepare for more of a longer term type situation. It makes it appear as if we weren't actually planning to do this, which would, I think, lend credibility to the stories that Israel was going to do it. We tried to say no or whatever, but they decided to. We kind of like, okay, well, we might as well do it with you, whatever. The stories that were out there a couple days ago. Again, don't know if it's true. Don't know if that's true. Just playing with the idea of it. Something to consider. Eric Q. Freeman, I don't believe that for a second. It does seem a little silly on its face. But that's the hard part about this is we're not getting any true information from anybody, so there's no way to really know. If you watched the Power Hour last night, we talked a little bit in there about Anthropic and how the military is using AI, which is, I think, is just interesting in and of itself. They're using AI to like pick all the targets. Like I think back to movies, and I can't even think of one off the top of my head, like one specifically, but movies when you see these people, they're like monitoring their targets on a screen and they're following them, and that's like their whole job. They had people assigned to follow the key targets, where now you have like so many satellites up in the sky. You don't have to have one person sitting there analyzing it all. You have AI do it. AI can monitor and track hundreds of thousands of targets all at once, simultaneously. And then when ready to go, you hit the fire button and AI will shoot the missiles and take out the ones that you want in order of priority or whatever. It's just interesting to hear, even if it's fake. We don't know that. We don't know what we don't know. But the idea of AI like fighting these wars and the evolution of war fighting, we're going away from traditional, like eventually wars are just going to be people trying to bomb each other with drones. And then it's like drone warfare. And eventually maybe it gets to the Geotopia scenario where it's just Bitcoin, energy, and whatnot. Tamara S. Zach and Alpha trigger some, it seems. They have the right to their opinion for sure. Blessing all of our Badlanders. Appreciate them all. Yeah, I love all those guys too. We don't all agree about everything. I wish someday we could show you guys like some of our private group chats. They get funny, like contentious to the point of comedy. But it's so healthy. It didn't always used to be healthy. Like we've always had friction and like different ideas. Some people couldn't handle it, couldn't take it well, and would lead to, people leaving, even in instances. But it's very healthy right now, where even when we disagree and people are like calling each other names and stuff, they at the end of the day, or like the very next day or a couple hours later, they're sharing stories and talking as bros about what a different story means. It's so cool. Caribbean trying to get John's attention about it. About what? What'd I miss? John, check Donald J. Truth Social post a minute ago about Nome. Well, let's see if it was fake news or not, guys. What? Okay, here we go. I'm pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st, 2026. Current Secretary Kristi Noem, who has served us well, has numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to the Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere we are announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Kristi for her service at Homeland. Serving 10 years in the United States House of Representatives and 3 in the Senate, Markwayne has done a tremendous job representing the world people of Oklahoma, where I won all 77 out of 77 counties. 2016, 2020, and 2024, a mega warrior and former undefeated professional MMA fighter, Markwayne truly gets along well with people and knows the wisdom and courage required to advance our America First agenda. As the only Native American in the Senate, Markwayne is a fantastic advocate for our incredible tribal communities. Markwayne will work tirelessly to keep our border secure, stop migrant crime, murderers, and other criminals from illegally entering our country, end the scourge of illegal drugs, and make America safe again. Markwayne will be a spectacular Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. It doesn't happen often that we get a story where it's like, oh, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, I don't know. And then we get confirmation that it was true just minutes later while live on air. That is awesome. And now, like I was saying, now is when you pay attention to how the broader truth community responds to this. Because when, like, if Kristi was doing her job and was doing it well, and Trump liked her there, this wouldn't have happened. And you know how Trump is. Like, he has people, they serve a role, they do something for a reason, and then they get rid of them, right? Like, they serve their purpose, their usefulness is maxed out, and then they're gone. We've seen that time and time again with Trump. We haven't seen it much. Like, Trump's first year of the second term, I don't think we saw a single person let go. Kristi Noem might be the first that was like in there and then fired. And she's going to a special envoy for a made up thing that doesn't even exist yet. Like, that's where, it's so funny. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Wasn't, what's his name? Who's the guy that was the Florida congressman? Mike Waltz? He kind of got the axe. So maybe I was wrong about the first term was. She's the first. She's not the first one. There's been some turnover, but it's like nothing compared to his first term in office. Like, he was not shy about firing people. But I think it's important to watch the reaction from the truth community and see how many people and how they talk about this, because we've been critical of her basically the entire time and haven't changed our position on it, while other people defended her. And now, are they going to continue to defend her, or be like, well, yeah, she obviously sucked at her job. I mean, this needed to happen. Or she's just moving on to a different part of the plan or whatever. The special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Give me a break. Crazy. Trump just needed Ice Barbie's pretty face for commercials. She's central casting, says Anarchy. Noam's always seemed a little questionable to me. Well, hey, you don't get to do that, aren't you, Joe Gilmore? Good to see you, man. You're one of those cute people. You have to trust everything. You can't now say like, oh, she was the one that was always a little questionable to me. Then why weren't you questioning her before? Chris Ball's take. Markwayne Mullin is a clown. DHS secretary is starting to feel like UN ambassador as far as jobs in the Trump admin go. Both of those are positions that interface directly and primarily with the global regime. Yeah, I don't know Markwayne Mullin like at all. Markwayne. Okay. I recognize him. He's had some interesting clips, I'd say, on social media. Maybe I'm going to see if I can use my contact to try to get an email address for his person, see if I can interview him. I doubt. Obviously, I'm never going to get an interview with that guy. But I'll try. Let's see what he's.
Resolution. This we're about to vote again on Tim Kaine's War Power Resolution. This War Power Resolution has been around for 50 years. It's only been used 11 times in 50 years, and 5 of those times been by Tim Kaine this year. What is a War Power Resolution? It basically says that the president can't continue his approach or his military action in the direction that he's moving, and that he would have to immediately stop, not tomorrow, not phase down, immediately stop, and would have to come back to Congress for authorization to protect Americans' interests. So let's say it does pass. It's actually do nothing because it's not going to pass the House.
Yeah, we don't need to listen to that. Dragon45 says John always has to point out that he's always right. Well, here's the thing. I'm not always right. And I don't feel like I always point it out, but I mean, if I was right about something, I'm going to point that out probably. But this is more of a broader, we talk about the InfoWars stuff, the broader effects of the community and where people are at and what the behaviors we see and some of the behaviors that we believe are detrimental to progress. And this is one of those things where we were like made out to be the bad guy for criticisms. And then when we get like justified, I mean, we don't know the full details, obviously. And maybe I don't even know. Maybe this is somehow could be spun as a good thing still. And she was great at her job and all these things. But maybe, being critical of people in the administration is necessary and required. And it's so when we get made out to be like the bad guy over things, then we kind of get proven right over it or feel like we get proven right. I'm definitely going to point that shit out and be like, yeah, you guys are retarded and have been. Not you guys in the chat, other people. And what does this do for the Senate makeup, right? Because he's a senator. So do we now... How does that work? Do they have to? Man, I wish the Senate rules weren't so convoluted. So if he's a senator, is the governor going to choose to replace him, or is it just an open seat? Like we're desperately trying to pass the SAVE Act right now, and did they just lose a vote for that potentially? Like now, if they bring the SAVE Act to the floor and do the talking filibuster thing, by the time, like if they can stall for a couple weeks. Because March 31st, that's a little less than 4 weeks away, whatever. If they can stall long enough and bring it to a vote, they won't have enough now to pass it, even on a party line vote, not even to get to the tiebreaker. So it's interesting that Trump is like, we need to pass the Save America Act urgently, desperately, but not desperately enough where I'm going to leave this guy there to make sure that we at least get the tiebreaker vote and then can actually pass it. He's rug pulling the Save America Act with this move. You guys see that? John, as an Oklahoman, call Mark. He will absolutely answer you and most likely come on your show. If you want to do me a favor and give him a call, give his office a call and give him my email address or something, john@badlandsmedia.org. I'd love to interview you guys. If you find good people that you think I should interview, let's do it. I haven't done interviews in a while. I used to have like a, what do you call them? A producer, I guess, but couldn't afford it anymore when, with the lawsuit stuff going on. So I don't have a producer. So I'm not actively out there trying to pursue interviews like I used to. I'm getting some out there. I think Pat Harrigan is coming on March 18th. Got that lined up. Still working on Tim Burchett, but I'm going to try to get some more interviews lined up. So, but if you guys know of any, you can help be my producers. Just no D-bags, please. I like elected officials, even though, illegitimacy and all those things aside, it's just fun putting them on the spot. But I don't want to interview every random Joe Blow. Don't speak on my behalf and be like, yeah, he wants to interview you, because I don't know if I want to interview anybody. But if you want to email me some contact info, and then I'll decide if I choose to interview that person, that'd be cool. Matt Trump, ChatGPT, Oklahoma governor appoints temporary replacement within 30 days, followed by a special election. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because it almost seems like Trump rug pulled the Save America Act with this. He's rug pulling Save America Act with Cornyn. So now he can endorse Paxton. It's part of the plan. Don't question it. Sit down. Q literally says question everything. Q says question John. Yeah, you should. Question everything except for the decoders. Don't question the decoders, but everything else. It's fair game. Mullin can stay as senator until he formally resigns, which is the same day before he takes a new position. Burchett is from Tennessee. The CH is hard, not an sound. I don't understand that. APL just said it passed. Haven't looked into what she's talking about. Do I even want to know what Anna Polina Luna says? What time is it? It's almost time for the show to be over. Let me see. I don't think it's passed. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know. Ooh, we got rumors of, it's coming from Emerald Robinson, so I'm going to take that with a major grain of salt. Oil, $81. Jack Smith for DHS. Got a good point on the rug pull. Looking forward to DPH Saturday. Yeah. Temporary replacement, according to Matt Trump. Good to see you, Matt. Has to be Republican, same party as the previous senator. Yeah, we just talked about that homecoming. If I recall, weren't they, this is from R. Hody, if I recall, weren't they asking Trump to fire Noam before they renewed DHS funding? Also, Thune and the rest using the previous arguments not to vote on the SAVE Act. You're absolutely right. One of the things they wanted in their list of 10 demands that the Democrats put forth, Schumer and Jeffries, was the resignation of Kristi Noem. And so I wonder if that's another angle to this, is are they doing it to get the partial shutdown back up and running? Man, interesting. And that's another aspect with the war thing going on, and the talk we talked a little bit about potentially being, were they actually fully prepared? Maybe that's fake news. Doesn't seem too credible, but the fact that we still have a partial shutdown and DHS not being funded while that's going on, it's got to affect some aspects of our national security, right? I'd imagine. And so is this a move to, get the ball moving and getting us back up and running? I don't know. Just talking on my ass right now, guys. Somebody's saying the autests are different from the retards. Yeah, guys. Jack 7113 for $1. Epoch Times reports Kristi Noem has been let go. That's what we're talking about. We just went over that story live. I know the Senate was about to put the bill back on the floor to approving Homeland Security funding. This definitely could be part of that. Phil Scarborough, I'm a wartime president. Trump has said that. And so it's funny how people get so defensive when you're like, well, what we're seeing in Iran, that's war, right? Like this, no, it's an operation. He's a military operation president, Phil. That's the trap. If you question anything, you're a black pillar or fake mega, question mark. It's interesting how they've set that up. Ken Fodder, good to see you, man. T. Gretzky, no discussion of Tim Tebow's congressional appearance. Seems like a huge deal right here. You know, I should have pulled that up. Maybe I can do that for tomorrow. He went in front of Congress, and I think he talked about a lot of the child pedophilia stuff, and it was a good appearance. I only saw like one clip, but I think it is probably important to discuss. Somebody remind me, we'll do that tomorrow. Scott Galt, Kristi Noem was doing a good job. Democrats are just getting their way again. How do you know she was doing a good job, though? Were the numbers that we're getting from, deportations, are they actually better or worse than like even an Obama administration? She was good at social media campaigns to make you think she was doing a good job. But she was kind of hard to take serious at all, at any point. And the DHS is likely an unconstitutional agency and shouldn't exist anyway. But that is a topic for another day. Anarchy, great show. How do we bring back Mohap? I miss it. Yeah, I miss that too. You can just start doing it. What's his name? Why can't I think of it now? I have his pen over there. He sent me like a birthday or a Christmas card with his pen. I don't want to get up and go look. One of you guys in the chat will remember it, but I spoke to him not long ago, and he's just like swamped with work stuff. So he listens now and then, doesn't tune into the chat as like he used to. Keith O'Higgins, by the way, I got a message about him. He is giving up the chat for Lent. That's why he's disappeared. He'll be back with vengeance, I'm sure. He's probably just ran out of material and needs to get back to writing for a few days. Fred Awakening, that's it. Thank you, Babbage. Miss that guy, Fredo. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. RT Joan, Kristi Noem, first hearing she was fire, and this last one, Meek. Kennedy uncharacteristically harsh on Republicans. Seems like a setup for change. Move on the chessboard. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, she said cool things in the first one, but that doesn't mean she was fire. I don't know. How is she a governor? I don't know. Does it matter anymore? I don't know. It goes back to what Chris has been saying, and a lot of us have been saying about the current makeup of the administration. Trump and his administration are two separate things. They're operating, it appears sometimes, towards two different agendas. And the administration itself is full of a lot of TV characters, like literal Fox News people. They're not necessarily always working in line with Trump. Like Pam Bondi, I've said it for a while. I think she is maybe working against Trump in a lot of ways. The Epstein thing is one of them. She's getting subpoenaed, but she's the reason. Like it feels like there's an Epstein cover up. I don't know. Some people owe Chris an apology. I know some people just don't like it. It is what it is. Giving up Lent for Lent is a boss move. John, the dude with two first name. Don't be an ass man. Hit that like button. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. All right. I'm going to get out of here, guys. You have a good rest of your day. Make sure you stick around Badlands. I think, is Ghost going live after this? I don't remember. I forget my own show or my own platform's show schedule. I don't think there's anybody after me right now, but this afternoon we got Taking It Back. Quite Frankly is on. Sit Rep tonight. JB is going on with the boys on Sit Rep, so make sure you tune into that. That's going to be a spicy one. And then I think we got Rug Pull Radio later this evening. But all right, you guys do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. You have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow right here on the Daily Herald at 1 p.m. Eastern. Catch y'all later.
Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.